mean, if
Okay.
I'm not always going to figure it out. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Ah! All right, everyone. Hi.
Hi.
From NAOC. So last day here, and I think we both can attest it's been a very good week because we are both very exhausted. So
If I yawn, forgive me.
oh, there will be much yawning. There might be some napping and snoring going on during the Periscope too. So anyways, just as always, just to remind you of our Twitter handles if you want to get a hold of us. It's Wildlife Bio Gal for me, and it's
R_Heisman, like the Heisman Trophy for me.
Hey, I don't remember. That's what I remember. I love my sports. So, and if you want to be able to check out the broadcast later, go to wildlifebiogal.com. You'll find the links to Periscope. After the conference, maybe a couple days after the conference, just because it's going to take me a little bit to get home and recover. I'll be putting things up on YouTube, and also I'll be making podcasts, and I'll put those out on SoundCloud. And so if you have any questions that we don't answer today, you can always get a hold of us through our Twitter handles. And we love answering questions that people have about scicomm. So today I'm here with Rebecca Heisman. She is awesome scicomer. So she was one of the people earlier this week that did the scicomm workshop on Twitter with Ariel and Jordan. And who else? My brain is already starting to like
Beth
and
Beth wasn't
Desiree.
there, but
Well,
she
you
was
got to
supposed
play.
to be
You
there.
got
I
to play
pretended to be
that,
Beth
right?
and Desiree, and I guess that was it. I'm tired. I'm maybe forgetting something.
There was 5 of you.
Yeah.
That was 5 people, right?
Me, Ariel, Desiree, Beth, Jordan.
Okay, wow. Yeah, we did it. See, go us. Yeah. So, I mean, I have to say that this conference, it's been really good, and you know how good it's been based on how exhausted you are. So the average of 4 to 5 hours of sleep a night I've been getting, it's been really good. So, but anyways, we're going to talk about scicomm. We're going to talk about Rebecca's work in scicomm. So if you guys have any questions, we're going to make this pretty free-flowing, so feel free to chat away with us. Making sure that we're coming through, so if anyone wants to let me know that you guys can hear us okay, so it's not us just talking and you guys aren't hearing us, that would be great, so we can double check, because especially since we're so tired, we'd like to make sure that you guys can actually hear us and that we set it up
I might mumble.
just fine.
It's possible.
So Rebecca, why don't you just start off, let us know what it is you're doing. You're working with the auk and condor, what is it that you do there with them? And
yeah, so the reason that I'm here this week is that I am an independent contractor who works for the ornithology journals, the Auk and the Condor, and I do communications work for them. So I write press releases about new research that comes out to try and get attention in the media for ornithology, and I also handle their Twitter accounts. So if you like birds, you should also be following Auk Journal and Condor Journal. Those are also me.
So, how does that go about, writing press releases for things? Is it, do they just kind of, have a new article that comes in, they want to, help publicize it?
So in my case, I don't get to decide which articles I write about. Some people who work in publicity in this sort of thing do, but I, every month, send a list of articles that are scheduled to publish in the next month to the editors-in-chief of the 2 journals that I work for, and they pick, well, let's do this one, and this one. And so then I read the paper, I contact the author to get quotes from them, I write up sort of an interesting, accessible 1-page summary, and then I have to get it approved by the editor and the author, and there's a whole process.
All right. Yeah. So what got you into that line of work? What made that sound like, hey, that's kind of something I'd like to do and it would be interesting?
It was an accident.
Okay.
Yeah, I previously had been working in environmental education, and I was working for a teeny tiny environmental nonprofit in the middle of nowhere in a cattle town in eastern Oregon, and it really was not a great fit, and I ended up leaving that after a year and moving to Walla Walla, where my now husband was living, so I could be closer to him, and I needed something to do with myself, and found this posting online, and it was a work from home position, so it was okay that I was still living in a small town in the inland Northwest. And because I had some ornithology background and some outreach and writing and social media backgrounds, I talked my way into it, and here I am.
Nice. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people that I know in scicomm have just kind of stumbled into it accidentally.
Yeah,
and then we kind of get a little taste of it, and ooh, this is nice. I like doing this. This is fun.
Yeah.
I can do more of this.
There's a lot of people who love science and don't realize at first that there's a lot of ways to be involved in the science world without being a scientist.
Okay.
So yeah, people realize that academia is maybe not for them, but then they discover that there's other ways to still be part of it.
Right, because like you get to read journal articles all the time.
I read so many journal articles.
Yeah,
I
probably
read more
than
journal
me,
articles
and
than
I'm
some
actually having
scientists
to
I know.
write
Yeah.
about stuff right now, for my thesis. So yeah, it's like. I think for you it might be fun because you're getting like this wide spectrum of papers that you're getting to read. It's not just something that's focused on your one particular area.
Yeah, well, I do other freelance writing too, for which I've covered everything from methane emissions in Lake Erie to, I'm drawing a blank right now, so butterfly conservation in Oregon.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's nice. Like I think with that, like you kind of can keep your interest going longer because there's all these different things that you're getting exposed to. You're not necessarily going to get bored.
Yeah,
just reading about it.
part of why I wandered away from academia is if you want to go to grad school, you have to specialize and develop very deep knowledge in a very narrow field, and I am interested in everything, and this lets me continue to be interested in everything.
Right. Yeah, it's and I think that's like one of the things I like about scicomm is I get to be able to talk to so many different people, and it's not just like, say with me, I study mute swans, so to only be focused on mute swan researchers, while they're amazing and great, it's definitely where I think I would get bored just only talking to that particular set of people. But here I get to hear about so much, get all these awesome ideas and everything. So yeah. So tell us a little background about where you went to school and things, so like people kind of know what's the path that you took to be able to get to being this awesome sci-commer.
Oh, thank you. I'm from Ohio, and I went to a small liberal arts school called Ohio Wesleyan University in the Columbus area.
I have heard of it. I've never been there, but
You might have heard of it because
yeah.
that is where Jed Burt was a professor, who was a big name in ornithology, who just passed away recently. So he was my advisor when I was an undergrad, and that was kind of my entry into the world of ornithology. I think that's part of how I got the position with the Aachen Condor was, I'll be honest, I did a little name dropping. Because he's a former president of national ornithology organizations. I was like, yeah, I was Jed Burt's student. And I really liked that, and I figured out by the time I'd finished undergrad, I think that like a PhD program staying in academia wasn't for me, but I thought at that point that maybe I would be like a wildlife biologist with a federal agency or something.
Okay. Yeah.
So I took some field jobs, like some field assistant gigs in bird research. I actually got accepted into a master's program in natural resources at the University of Manitoba, and almost started it before deciding at the last minute that it wasn't for me and going to Australia for 3 months instead. And then I ended up with an internship in environmental education, like leading nature hikes for middle school kids, and decided that I liked that. And after a couple seasonal gigs doing that, went back to school for a master's degree in environmental education. And my project for that was promoting environmental education through social media, which is how I started getting that experience. And then moved to Eastern Oregon, and then moved to Colorado.
All right. Wow. Yeah. So I mean, it makes
All over
sense.
the place.
I mean, all of that though is like leading up, so you get that baseline, intro into science, so science, and then to be able to do that education, I think that really helps you with your communication skills, because to be able to educate people, you have to have quality education or quality scicomm skills.
There's not a lot of I don't know, there doesn't seem to be a lot of overlap between people who are into scicomm and people who are in the environmental education field, but I don't understand why, because they really
seems
they
like
do
a
the same thing.
mesh.
They're doing the same thing.
For sure. So yeah, just a reminder to everyone, we're talking to Rebecca Heisman here at NAOC 2016. We're on the last day here, so you've got two very tired scicommers. So if you have any questions for Rebecca at any time, feel free to send them along. And then also if you've got any just general questions about SciComm or how the conference is going as well, we'll definitely answer those. And just to forewarn you guys, we're going to probably cut this off about 10:30 because we have another Periscope that we have to do with research with Liz, 10:45 on her work with tropical birds. Wow, I am really tired. I just wrote this out too.
Something about birds.
It was temporal habitat usage or something along those lines. So it's using isotopes. It should be some really cool research. I'm not making it sound as amazing as what I should because 5 hours of sleep after many nights of probably 4 hours of sleep are running out on me. So with SciComm, so when you're doing SciComm, kind of tell us how you go. Do you use Twitter? Do you use Snapchat? Do you use Instagram? Like, what are the things that you do with scicomm, like to send things?
I have
out,
never
like, the social
used
media
Snapchat
stuff?
or Instagram, actually. Maybe
Really?
maybe I should start.
Okay.
Are you on Snapchat and Instagram? Do you find them useful?
I like Instagram
Do you like them?
a lot. It's a nice visual medium.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, a lot.
I post a lot of photos to Twitter.
Yeah, I
do
too.
Stuff,
I do too. But the thing I like with Instagram is you can write a lot longer on there, so you can kind of describe what you're doing. And I think maybe with what you're doing, it'd be interesting to when you guys are publicizing a new journal article that came in.
Oh, so
maybe
like
have
the journals maybe should have
so,
an Instagram account.
Right, and so maybe have them do a picture of that particular research. So like have that author send or that scientist send in a picture of their work, and then you can put it up on Instagram and say, hey, this is the link to that journal article.
Yeah,
maybe like a little
sometimes they
spiel
send me
about
pretty
it.
fabulous photos from
Yeah.
their work. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to suggest that to the people who decide those things there.
Now
Maybe I should be on Instagram. I'm
yeah.
not.
It's
on
fun.
Twitter,
It's a very good, like, fun visual thing.
Yeah.
So, and you get to be a little artsy with your stuff. And I'm a little bit more laid back with my Instagram than, like,
How often do you post to it? Like, is it as
I try
active
not to
as
do
Twitter?
more than once a day.
Okay.
So,
because Twitter's like a fire hose.
Oh, it totally is. That is the best explanation for fire hose. So that's what is it?
Didn't know that about Instagram.
Yeah, so I'm really horrible with your username, but basically they're saying I didn't know that about Instagram. Yeah, it's I really like it a lot. I think it's very visual. People, you can comment on it. You can put like the longer messages with it. So I think it it gives it a little bit.
Oh, Twitter is better than Instagram.
Yeah,
says
Gregory. Twitter. Yes.
So this person asked, is it followed as much as Twitter? So where do you have more followers?
I have more followers on Twitter, but I just recently made my Instagram public. Like, I didn't have it public before. I had it private, just because like I wasn't sure if I was gonna like use it as a scicomm thing, and I finally got talked into opening it up and just making it scicomm, and it already had like my same user handle and everything. I just hadn't done that.
Do you cross post things? Like when you post something to Instagram, does the link also go to Twitter?
You can if you want to.
I mean, no, but do you do that?
I have like once or twice, but I try not to because I try to keep it interesting. So I try to do like multiple things rather than just all like splash it across.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think if it was something like extremely important, you wanted everyone on every medium to see it, then I would. I also try to sometimes like I might be covering like the same thing, like so let's say like the plenary today, I wanted to cover on Twitter and Instagram. I might make a post about something that the speaker said and have that picture of it, but then for the Instagram I might take another separate photo, so it's just slightly different even though it's on the same topic.
Yeah.
And so it provides just that different interest, so it's not just so if someone's following me on Twitter and Instagram, they're not getting that same message, they're getting something different that encourages them to like go check out each thing.
That makes sense.
So but yeah, no, Instagram, there definitely is a lot of people that are on there. I think it's just all who uses what.
Yeah.
And so like with Snapchat, like I wouldn't ever do it, I think, more than once a day, or maybe if there was something like that was like really extremely interesting. And I'm still trying to figure out, do I just post it to the My Story thing, or do I send it out to everyone? Like I'm still like perusing through that because I don't know too much about it. So if you get into it, let me know what you find out. And let all of us, know too. So when you tweet, like, what are the things that you use for Twitter? Gregory Go says, tips to convey tech info on social media.
I'm not a tech person. I'm a wildlife biology person, so I don't know.
So what kind of tech are you talking about?
Yeah,
maybe
like more,
yes. Give us a little bit more information there that we can kind of like decipher about. So because that's
here's a question. When you're talking about from Jordan's mom, hi Jordan's mom. When you're talking about behaviors, including video, she was saying that
that's all the Twitter stuff flashing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
this is new to me. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Before.
Hey, but that's the whole thing, is getting everyone
technical scientific info. Okay, so that is one of the challenges when I'm writing a press release is sometimes like stable isotope stuff we do so many stable isotope papers and it's extremely technical. So there is kind of the challenge to breaking it down in a way that makes it understandable for non-scientists, and then I always have to send it back to the scientists to make sure that I didn't screw up any facts, and sometimes they will edit it back to, they'll want to change everything back to being jargony, which isn't good. But I mean, honestly, what I offer the journals, I generally am just posting a link to something longer, like a few paragraph long press release to explain stuff. It's hard to encapsulate really technical stuff in 140 characters.
Yeah, because you want to make it user friendly for sure for everyone who's reading just a general press release to get them in. Yeah, you're always trying to like have that nice borderline between people who are follow that one particular area of science versus someone who knows nothing about it but is kind of interested and you want to be able to hook them in.
Yeah.
So.
And when I'm tweeting about a paper for the journals, by the time I include the link to the paper or the press release and like a photo of the bird from the paper and usually at least the hashtag ornithology and sometimes also the hashtag OA if it's open access, I barely have enough characters left for the title of the paper sometimes.
Right, yeah.
So
there's
Twitter
so many
is
times.
part of the challenge of Twitter, I guess.
Do you find like maybe putting that information like in a photo, like an infographic or something, might be like the way to go?
Yeah, I don't really have the graphic design skills for infographics necessarily, but I mean, so sometimes for Throwback Thursday, I'll tweet like really old Locke and Condor articles because their archives go back to the late 19th century.
Oh.
And so just to add some visual interest to those, it's all available online, but it's like scans of old journal pages, so I'll just like take a screenshot of like an old like a paragraph from an article and include that as an image.
Oh, okay.
Because then you do get some more text in there, and it's also adding just some visual interest that it's like this really old typesetting. It's cool.
Right. Yeah, because like today to announce all the periscopes that were going on, I just simply went on to, well, I had like Photoshop, but you easily could have done it on Word and just like typed out everything and then grab that picture and then like put it up on there. So, and that way, like, I could get away with not having all those characters, because there was no way I was going to want everyone's name and the times and the information about it, like, on just a regular tweet. And so that was, like, my cheat way of doing it. And I can't remember if it was you or someone else during the workshop was saying, like, all the cheap ways that you can get around, like, the 140 characters on Twitter.
Yeah, that's definitely one way, is to take a picture of the text that you want to put in.
Yeah, and then you can also tag the people, so like, say like, I was talking about you guys, rather than include your handle in the actual tweet, then you can, so we got a question here from Gregory Go, Periscope schedule on Twitter.
It's all on her Twitter account.
Yeah, so if you go to Wildlife Bio Gal, on Twitter, yes.
She's got 3 more today after me.
I tweeted out the schedule of today, so, and I'll try to remember to, well, I guess I should just announce it now since I'm talking about it so I don't forget about it. But, so at 10:45, we're with Liz doing her work with avian isotopes and habitat area. 11:45 is Angeline Hunt from, I think, University of Alberta, if I remember right. Going to be bad if I can't remember. And her work, we're going to do her talk. 1:30 it was with Andrew Barnes from University of North Dakota, and he does work with snow goose up by Hudson Bay, and he uses UAS or drones to survey the geese up there. And then I'll also be sitting down with Jordan Rudder from University of Minnesota, and she is also the social or co-chair of the committee for social media, and she's doing a lot of the live tweeting that you see from NAOC from this week, also on Instagram and Facebook and whatever else it is, all that she's been having to do this week. It's very rare that you've seen her without her phone like flashed in front of her face this week, because she's been so busy trying to like keep up with everyone, and she's been doing an amazing job. Like, I can't say enough of what a great job that she's been doing trying to cover everything. So we haven't got a time set with Jordan. We will get that scheduled out for this maybe early evening at the latest. So, so like, what kind of apps and stuff do you like to use to like help make Twitter easier for you? Because a lot of people, we have Twitter, but there's so many other different apps that you can use to help assist your Twitter experience, especially when you get into like more heavy use of Twitter.
Yeah, well, on my phone, I only use my phone for my personal account, and I only have just the vanilla Twitter app, which I know a lot of people don't like, but I've never had a problem with it.
Okay.
For the 2 journal accounts, I do use TweetDeck, and it also makes it easier. Since I don't have my personal account linked to that TweetDeck, it makes it easier to avoid accidentally posting to the wrong account. But yeah, I like using TweetDeck for that because it does let me manage accounts for both of the different ornithology journals from one login. It lets me pre-schedule tweets so that I can you know, check in once in the morning and schedule stuff for the day rather than having to babysit it constantly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, like, how much time, like, do you find that you spend a day on Twitter? I mean, I know it's going to be variable depending on what's coming out, but, like, you know, what's, like, your usual, like, Twitter schedule through the day?
For the two journals, the accounts that I manage professionally, probably not more than half an hour, honestly. Like, I'll log in the morning and check any, like, mentions and notifications and, like, find some stuff to tweet that day. For my personal one, it really varies. If I've got a lot of work that I'm doing for articles that I'm working on, then I'm not on Twitter as much. So there's almost an inverse relationship between how busy I am with actual work and how much I'm tweeting. Sometimes I'll keep it open in a tab while I'm on my computer and I'm working on stuff.
Okay.
Sometimes not. And whenever I have an article come out that I've worked on, I will, like, tweet the link to that incessantly for several days to try and get people to read it.
Do you find that, like, you try to, like, tweet those same articles, like, throughout days, or, like, you know, like you said, like, multiple days to try to, like, hit different people at different times?
Yeah, I mean, Twitter, like I said, it's like a fire hose of information, especially if you follow a lot of people. So if you post the same thing, you know, at different times of day over the course of a couple days, you're probably going to hit a different segment of your audience each time. Yeah, so I will definitely post the same information repeatedly.
Yeah, like, so do you guys find, like, most of your information, like, is it mostly just North America folks that are in it, or are you guys worldwide with everything, and do you try to, like, encapsulate more of, like, that worldwide audience when you're, like, you know, promoting the different
Yeah, well, unfortunately, I'm an English-only speaker. I wish I spoke Spanish, but I don't. But we do have a lot of followers who are international on the Twitter accounts for journals, and we publish papers from all over the world. We actually publish quite a few, like, Latin American and European and a few Australian papers. So Asian. So we have stuff coming in from all over the place. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I know that's one reason why, like, I took French in high school, and I'm trying to, like, get back into it and, like, you know, become more. Okay, I would just actually should say not more fluent, but actually become fluent. Oh yes, thank you very much. Yeah.
I speak a little German. What I wish I spoke is Spanish.
Yeah.
So that's what would actually be useful. I've picked up a small smattering of Spanish, but not enough to actually, like, write a tweet in Spanish without needing to consult a dictionary first. So
yeah, I feel more comfortable. We got a quick question here. Appreciate articles, save a lot of them after reading. Very useful.
I'm so glad. Yay!
But yeah, no, I think it helps. Someone's asking if I speak French, and not enough to want to go on live on camera with it. I can read it a lot better than I can speak it, and I'm hoping within, like, the next year to be able to get to the point where I feel comfortable enough speaking with. But one of the reasons why I wanted to do that is I went to a conference a couple of years ago, International Association of Basic Researchers, and a couple of researchers behind me, like, I could hear them ask, you know, like, oh, you speak French, and, like, then they just had this whole conversation in French, and it just made me think, okay, here are my colleagues across the border that we work with in the Great Lakes area, and why wouldn't I want to, like, speak their native language? Because there's going to be times where I'm going to have to go up there, and it just, you know, one, it makes them more comfortable if they can speak their language, and if I can get to the point where I'm comfortable enough speaking it, it's better communication. You know, to be able to speak to people where they're most comfortable, and if I can help facilitate that, why not?
Yeah.
So, and like you said, like, you know, dealing with international folks and stuff too, it just opens up, I think, a whole new world if you can at least have that second language.
Maybe at least when we have papers from Latin American, you know, from Latin America and Spanish-speaking authors, I should, you know, I could. If I sat there for a few minutes with a, you know, grammar reference and everything, I could write, you know, I couldn't converse in Spanish, but I could write a tweet in Spanish. So maybe I ought to, at least when we have papers from Latin American countries, well, not, you know, there's Brazil that speaks Portuguese, but, you know, from Spanish-speaking countries there in Spanish, at least as a gesture.
Right. Yeah, and, like, I remember the first time I tweeted in French, and it was just like, I was so nerve-wracked. I'm like, please.
Did you get, like, a million, like, French replies that you couldn't really understand?
No, like, I never got a reply at all, but at least, like, I felt good, like, you know, because the person had tweeted in, you know, French, and so, like, I was replying back because I had asked a question, and so I was just replying back, and it was just like, I hope I have this right, because I don't want to be offensive, but I also want to, like, meet them at their level too. And I think that's the biggest thing with scicomm is you're trying to meet so many different people at their level, and if you can help facilitate that in any way. Yeah. So we got a few more minutes here with Rebecca before we're gonna have to sign off and go run to our next
There's no one watching
Periscope.
right now.
Well, the thing is, sometimes you never know with those things.
Oh, really?
Like, sometimes
Okay.
there's still people there.
It says there's no one watching
yeah,
right
like,
now. But if you're there,
I've found
hello.
that it's, quite variable. And the other thing, too, is you have all these people afterwards.
I know, people are going to see it on,
Yeah, so
video
that's
after,
really,
probably.
like, you should see, like, one of the things I'm going to do at the end of the conference is actually, see, so you're getting likes. So
there,
someone
okay.
is watching. Yeah. So, the thing is with, Periscope, and then by posting them up, you're going to have all these people be able to rewatch it later.
Yeah.
So even if, like, you don't have, like, a giant audience, it's no big deal. Even if, like, some people are off for a second because they're having to run back and forth, so everyone's always going to be able to watch this later.
I've never done this before,
Right.
so it's fun.
Yeah.
Tweet deck. So tweet TWEET and then deck, like the deck of a ship.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually owned by Twitter, but it's a service where you can manage multiple Twitter accounts from one login, and you can customize columns to follow different hashtags and stuff, and you can pre-schedule things, and it makes your life, there's someone else is answering. Tweet deck, yes. So, same person. So it makes your life a lot easier if you have multiple Twitter accounts that you want to manage. And for people in academia, maybe you want to have an account for yourself, and then you want to have one for your lab, or for a class that you're teaching, or a citizen science project that you're running, or things like that. So
because like Ariel has Rails for like her particular project, and it's a great way for her and other people just to like follow that one particular hashtag. But it might be where you want to take it that next step and actually have an account for
just to help promote your research. That's like promote a specific research project that's separate from your like main account. Yeah,
exactly.
I've been able to do that.
Yeah.
So
any more questions out there? We'll give you guys a couple last minutes here to formulate some like really amazing questions. If not, definitely hit us up on Twitter. I'll flash this up before we run out of time. So here are our Twitter handles if anybody wants them. It's wildlifebiologal.com or our Heisman. Question here. I have two projects can separate from. Yes.
Yeah. You can create Twitter, like you might want to have more than one Twitter account, and if you have TweetDeck, then you could have more than one account, but manage them all without having to log in and log out to switch between them. So it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, because many of us here that do scicomm don't just do scicomm for our personal selves. We also help run different accounts for either different organizations or a different project and things, and so that way, like, it really helps us to maintain like. Our lives, and so that way we don't accidentally tweet something on another account, because that would be just absolutely disastrous if I was tweeting something of me for like my personal account on one of those professional accounts. It would just be like
I have my account that I promote like my freelance writing through, and then I also manage the Occ Journal account and the Condor Journal account, so I actually have 3 different accounts that I'm checking in on any given day.
So if you didn't get to catch the whole broadcast and you want to be able to watch it again or be able to see all the other broadcasts that we've been doing from NAOC this week, go to wildlifebiologal.com. There'll be all the links for the periscopes, and then once I'll get them loaded up, it'll be on YouTube and SoundCloud, and there's other links there for the other social media. So with that, I think we'll sign out if there aren't any more last half-second questions, and we'll definitely thank Rebecca for sitting down with us for a little bit. And
I'm awake, I swear.
Yeah, go get some coffee and caffeine, and maybe some food after this. So, but check back in 15 minutes, and we'll be broadcasting Liz's talk, and then. Thank you for doing Periscope. For those of us who can't be there, you're very welcome. Yes, this has been
enjoying it.
Yeah, this has been a good format to be able to help people stay connected with the research here. So the next one's at 10:45, so in 15 minutes, and then after that it's going to be 11:45 with Angeline's research, and then 1:30 for Andrew's, and then at some point in time we will figure out what we're going to be sitting down with Jordan and all of her work with the social media here at NAOC. So until then, you guys have a great rest of your morning. Go get some caffeine so you can sit through all these periscopes. And the thing is, I'll leave you guys with a question. So how is it that you guys use Twitter and social media? So let us know, tweet us out on our accounts and let us know how it is that you guys use Twitter for science communication. So have a great one. Bye.